This is the CSL, a trixied up, hunkered down road racer that's come among us, shaved, spruced, and wearing a £58,000 suit.
So, why the Isle of Man then?
This little island in the middle of the Irish Sea is most famous for motorcycles. But there's so much more to it than that. There are castles. This one is home to the Morthy-Do, a huge dog that terrifies people to death. Nigel Mansell used to live here. Rick Wakeman and Norman Wisdom still do. It's like Beverly Hills, with kippers. There's tradition too. This place is home to the first ever water wheel, an old train, some cottages, and the oldest parliament in the world.
And now we're getting to the nub of the reason why I came, the politics. You see, the Queen is the head of state here, but the Isle of Man is not in the EU, and Tony Blair is not the Prime Minister. Which means that when you get out of the villages, there are no speed limits. They haven't really heard of the nanny state here. And you're taxed at 10%. And there's nothing to stop me going round this corner like this.
This then is the ideal place to test the most hardcore BMW ever made.
To save weight, which is the killer in any good car, you don't get electric seats, you don't get air conditioning, you don't even get a radio.
Think of it as a BMW with bulimia.
I suspect if you brimmed the tank right to the top, it would find that an affront to its weight-saving programme and would simply vomit it all out again.
And the diet isn't limited to the interior either.
The roof, as you can see, is made from carbon fibre. The rear window is made from special thin glass. The boot lid is made from plastic. And the floor of the boot, and I'm not joking, is made from cardboard. This car is as light as a buttercup. But under here, you'll find the heart of a medieval Manx dog. You even look at that engine, they'll kill you. They've managed to squeeze 355 brake horsepower from a 3.2. It's unbelievable. And to show you how serious BMW are with this car, look at these tyres. They're like racing slicks. You have to sign a disclaimer before you buy a CSL saying that you understand that the tyres won't work in the rain or if it's a bit chilly. What a car.
Of course, it isn't especially comfortable or quiet, and you can't put heavy shopping in the boot in case it falls through the cardboard floor. And you can't use it unless it's hot and sunny. And if it is hot and sunny, you'll melt because there's no air conditioning. And if rain is on the way, you won't know because you can't hear the weather forecast because there's no radio. Not the most practical car in the world then, but when you get out of the villages and into the Isle of Man's de-restricted inner centre, it is just incredible.
Everything about this car is 10 or 20% better than I was expecting. And I was expecting it to be seriously good. I mean, the acceleration is just fabulously savage. The balance of the chassis of these tyres mean that you get so much G-force, you feel like your liver is going to let go of its mountings before the rear end starts to slide. And then there's the noise. Can you hear that? Oh! Listen to that. The noise is astonishing. This car was made for this place. It was just made for the Isle of Man.
It is a remarkable machine, and as such it has a remarkable price tag of nearly 60,000. Of course, some say it can't possibly be worth 20,000 more than the normal M3. But this is not the first time BM have ripped out all the equipment, then jacked up the price. Remember the old CSL, the Batmobile that tore up Europe's racetracks in the 70s? Well, those of you with long memories will remember they made a road-going version of it.
I used to have one of these a few years ago. I love the 70s-ness of them, the chrome wheel arches, and ooh, let's make the stripes a little bit brighter. You got them in lime green and orange. Look at those bucket seats. And the wood on the dash is exactly the same wood that you used to get on a Garrard 86 SB turntable. I used to have one of those as well, actually, come to think of it.
I fear I also owned this record, but that's not important right now. What is important is that the old CSL came out in the middle of the 1973 oil crisis, sporting a price tag of £7,500. And that made this lovely little road car with its lightweight panels and its stripped-out interior more expensive than the most expensive Aston Martin. On that basis, the new car should cost £180,000. So at 60, it's a bargain.
If I had to nitpick, and obviously I do, then I'd centre on this area here. I mean, the sport button, which makes it more sporty. Why? Why isn't it just more sporty all the time? The button that turns the traction control off. Again, why? Why isn't it off all the time? Then there's this one here that adjusts the ferocity of the flappy paddle gearbox. Why can't they just give me a manual? It could be so much simpler.
Overall, though, I think the CSL is magnificent. Like the Isle of Man, it's a thorn in the side of the nanny state, a wonky roof tile in the health and safety executive's vision of perfect Britain. It's BMW at its absolute best.